signed Mason Plumlee and Jalil Okafor.
Yeah, so that's what I was.
Plumlee actually signed for a decent contract.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Plumlee, they got Okafor, they just got Dedmon as well, and I believe they also got a fourth big man. And as much as we said earlier, Christian Wood is probably going back there, this almost makes it seem like he's not going back there after all. So, I mean, again, where could Christian Wood maybe go?
Yeah, it's tough, right? This essentially takes him out of the position. Plumlee is more of a center. Wood plays both center and power forward, but he's more of a true center. With the fact that he puts up 9-10 rebounds per game. But Jalil Okafor also plays center and power forward.
Yeah,
Okafor might not be the top player around, but he still puts up an 8 and 5 per game. Plays a great backup. I definitely don't see
actually,
place here.
this just announced Christian Wood 33 minutes ago by Wash actually signed a 3-year, $41 million deal with the Houston Rockets.
Wow.
So there we go.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like
that's the Rockets staying competitive.
At first, it was 3-year 27, and it ended up going to 3-year 41. So obviously, last minute, his agent was able to get him a bit more money, which is great for him. But yeah, definitely an interesting move. I don't know how Houston pulled that off, whether it's going to be sign and trade or what it would be. I didn't think they had the money. But I mean, does this move mean that they're probably absolutely moving on from Westbrook, or do you think this is a way to try to make him stay more so?
I think this is a way to show that they still want to compete.
Yeah.
Like, they gave up a lot for Westbrook, and that team, if you put in a center with Harden and Westbrook, now you're talking about a center who can shoot threes.
Yeah.
Wood is that. But if you put in a good center, I know he's not a top player, but the fact that they didn't have anyone before. Capella was great, but the reason they got rid of him, couldn't stretch the floor whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
They put someone in that spot who can still get a few rebounds, play some defense. That was their issue against the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying this guy's gonna stop Anthony Davis. Obviously not. That's not what he's there for. But I think this is them trying to be like, hey guys, we have a chance to stay competitive here. On the other hand, they could actually flip Harden or Westbrook, and depending on the pieces they come back, they're still a pretty good playoff contender. Still probably a top 4 or 5 seed in the West with just one of the two, if they have the right pieces that come back in the right trade.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends what route they go. Like you said, they do have both options. They could either go that route. If I'm them and they are keeping both of them and they are running Christian Wood, I would say you're probably, like you said, going to have to bring in a real center. We did mention a lot of them earlier. It obviously depends on money again. A guy like, if he does, Aaron Baines seems like it'd be fantastic there now almost. Seems like he'd be a great fit for the center, doesn't have to stretch the floor as much. And Christian Wood's obviously going to do a lot of that. So, I mean, I think that would round out the team really good. But overall, I mean, we've even seen teams recently win with Saka, Pachulia at center. So, I mean, as long as they have a guy who, like you said, is a true center and he could actually play consistently, I think then it's them showing they want to contend. And I don't think it's hard for them to get that. They just have to stand up and actually do it. So if I'm them, I think it's a move towards them actually trying to run it back and trying to. But if they're trying to get rid of one of them still, I still think it's probably Westbrook. But again, like you said, they gave up so much for it. I just don't think they want to justify or unjustify that move yet. So I do think at least it's going to be one more year there.
Hold on. I keep seeing rumors of Westbrook and Harden equally. It seems like they either can't make up their mind or they want to get rid of both. But for Harden, if you trade away an MVP player, no matter what you get back, it's not going to be an MVP quality.
Very unlikely, yeah.
And if you're trading, no matter how many years it takes and how many picks it is, and if you're trading Westbrook, the fact that you're going to have to take junk and probably give up a pick or two just to offload his contract, and then still not have the players to compete for the next 2 or 3 years, in both senses, they'd be failing.
Yeah, exactly. So it really only seems logical for it to keep it. But I mean, every time we say something seems logical, it just seems to not happen now suddenly. I mean, Gordon Hayward opting out seemed like the most unlogical thing. And it's exactly what happened. So next time you know, like you said, Westbrook's going to get piled on for a bunch of scrap to some team who just is going to take them on.
And it seems now, on talking about Hayward, that a lot of these players that were considered top 8 free agents were willing to take very little money.
Yeah.
Christian Wood signed 3 years, $27 million. That's $9 million per year. We know a lot of players that get paid more than that.
They finalized at 341.
341?
That's what Wash had reported. Earlier, that's what I had said. It was first reported 327. It got bumped up to 341 apparently.
Okay, that's a little bit better. That's more in the realm of what I thought he would get paid.
And it still gives them room to again sign an actual true center, whoever it may be. Yeah. But I mean, it could be Cousins, takes less money. If it's like that, that's a very good team.
Well, I think Cousins has to sign for minimum. No one's going to pay him more than minimum.
Exactly.
He hasn't played in almost 2 years. He played for the Warriors in the finals, but he only played a couple games.
Yeah.
So it's I think there's no way he gets paid more than minimum, considering he wants to play for a contender.
Yeah. So
if he wanted to go play for a bum team, different story.
Yeah, so definitely could fit in there. Definitely could.
Yeah, that would that you never know. Houston could still be around, and in all reality, we do need a contender in this league. You can't just hand the title to LeBron every year.
Which is exactly what we're just talking about. I mean, the season basically feels over. Even still, knowing that, it still feels over. But like you said, at least there's a chance. Yeah, there's an injury. If they do put together 7 great games, I mean, it could still happen. And I mean, as long as you have those pieces, it's the only way to actually even have a chance to make it happen. If they are 4 or 5 deep, I mean, there you go. They do have a chance now.
That's just it. So, well, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, Houston can actually put something together. Morey's not there anymore. D'Antoni's not there anymore. Small ball, probably relatively over. But if they put someone like Wood at center, that at least gives them the opportunity to still play smaller. Of course, they still have PJ Tucker there. Tucker's probably still going to be their starting center if they don't bring anyone else in. But I do think that they should bring in a bigger body just for the matchups against a team like LA, which is who they're going for. Every year, a team builds up to go against a certain team. The Lakers are that team right now.